All right, so Ben, a year ago when we started this, you had just moved over to Swanson and Associates.
Yes, sir.
How's that going? 1 year update.
It's going really well. When I got hired over there, when I got brought over there, I was also hired on as the productivity coach. At that time, we only had one agent going through the program, and she capped her first year. She was an agent for 5 years. She'd only capped one other time because she sold like a $4 million home. Lucky her.
Wow.
But this time she worked hard and she capped like how a lot of agents do. So she made some money this year for the first time and taught her everything I know.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
does she like tell everybody that Ben Dings
She
is the
better.
man?
She
She
better.
better. Yeah. She owes you her life.
She does. She does. Yeah.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about, I don't want to bore everybody with real estate,
Okay.
but definitely want to talk about maybe what has changed in the last 12 months.
Okay.
Um, you know, I'll go back a little bit. Not only were you my first guest, you were actually my inspiration and everything. So if I ever get famous,
Uh huh.
like this young lady that capped,
Yes.
I'm going to owe it all to Ben Dings
Okay.
because you are the reason. You asked me to be on a YouTube, and I was like, "Well, this is pretty cool. I can talk."
Uh huh.
And just your knowledge of all the stats and all that. And I want to dive into that too.
Yeah.
Because you see, I got YouTube on my big TV. I'm starting to play it on the TV instead of always on my phone to
Yeah.
actually use it as a resource. So,
Uh huh.
anyway, thank you very much for getting me started. And thank you for
Yeah.
coming back
My pleasure.
after 12 months. So, let's talk about how rates have, or how the market changed. And these two, I'll throw out these two comments. You can agree with them or just comment on them. I believe the average price is right at the same, not really up and definitely not down.
Yep.
And interest rates, and that's a relative term. I think they're down a lot. They're from 6.7 down to about six and a quarter.
Yeah.
I think that's big, but when I was Googling it and looking up the difference, they're like, oh, they're about the same. I'm like, that's a big difference, half a point.
Yeah.
Now, we
Yeah.
were at 6.625 2 weeks ago, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because of this war, they were driven back up, but now we've recovered back again.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
do believe that we'll be back at six and probably under six soon. So, what do you think the changes have been in real estate over the last 12 months?
Last year we started to see it at the beginning of the year when we met last time, and then it definitely reared its ugly head. But I mean, we went through a correction. It wasn't as big as some of the doom and gloom people on YouTube and news channels were saying how the market was going to crash.
Yeah.
But I think we've gone through our correction, and things are starting to look more up this year.
Damn YouTubers.
Yeah, got to get clicks somehow. But yeah, I mean, when they were like you said, when rates were like 6.7 or last year, that people were getting in the sevens. That was
Yeah.
unaffordable. Now more people are able to get in the sixes. Some people are buying down rates into the fives. So
Yeah, FHA and VA
Yeah.
are at 5.75.
yeah, exactly.
I think, I told you that this month currently is a really strong month,
Mm-hmm.
and that's reflective of the 45 days ago when we saw rates drop
Yeah.
consistently in the fives.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that definitely spurs activity.
Yeah,
When you see a
absolutely.
five in the front, I think.
Absolutely. It's and I think we're about to get into that busy season where kids are out of school, people are all starting to move, so we'll see what it does. But I mean before COVID happened, the average time on market for a house was what? Around 6 months. Now people are freaking out because their house isn't selling in a month.
Yeah.
but
So what is it
still,
now? About 60 days?
it's about 90 days, 45 to 90
Okay.
days, depending on the area.
Which is where it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Isn't that what is
exactly.
considered a healthy market?
Exactly. So some systems even still say that we're considered in a seller's market. You wouldn't think that for judging how things have gone the past 5 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's where markets should be. I think we're in a good place.
So define that for anybody that's not, and correct me if I'm wrong. So the reason, I know if I was listening, I heard it's taken 90 days to sell a house. How is that a healthy market? Well, you have to consider it balanced because we're not just thinking, obviously, if you're the seller, you want it to sell in 5 days. But when things were selling in 15 days, people were bidding, no appraisals. It just jacked up the prices. So that is not healthy because it creates the environment we've been in the last 2 years where things are unaffordable.
Exactly.
So that's why we talk about why it's balanced and healthy, is because it's long enough to where people don't have to rush into decisions if you're a buyer, you don't have to just throw an offer out there.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually look at a couple different houses and pick and negotiate, but it's not sitting forever to where you can just throw any lowball offer.
Right. And that is area specific to here too. I mean, I did see, it could have been a doom and gloom one where they said how there's 600,000 more sellers than there are buyers in the United States right now, but in this area specifically, Metro Atlanta, we're not seeing that type of market. We're not seeing a desperation market. We're seeing a good, healthy market right now.
And again, and it's so cliche and all that, but it does depend on the area, because even inside of Peachtree City, I know houses that are going on the market within 24 hours, but I also know houses that have been sitting for 60, 90 days that are great houses. Yeah. It's just a matter of some areas are just highly sought after, some price ranges, etc.
And the crazy thing is too is this has happened twice to me this year so far. I've had a listing sit 30 days, 60 days, nothing, and then all of a sudden I get 3 offers on a weekend for the same house that's been on the market for 2 months, no traction, nothing at all, just a few showings. Then all of a sudden, boom. It happens. It pops.
So it's funny you said that, because I have a good friend of mine that's buying a house, and I feel horrible. House was listed for $620.
Mm-hmm.
He made an offer at $605. They didn't go for it.
Yeah.
He said, "Okay, thanks." That's all he qualified for.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Went back. Think it's been like 3 weeks. Went back and made an offer for $550. Because it had sat.
Yeah.
And they countered with $560. This was, what's today? Wednesday? So Monday made the offer. Tuesday they countered, or I guess Sunday made the offer. Monday, Tuesday he replies to accept it at $560, $50,000 less, and a cash buyer came the same day and at that same exact price.
Yeah.
How does that happen? That's a little weird. Nobody's making offers on this house. They drop at $50,000. All of a sudden, you have a cash offer. That seems fishy.
Yeah. It sounds like they went and called one of those people that call you all the time, like Open Door or something. Possibly.
I guess they could have. Why would you? Is that still considered a cash offer, Open Door?
Yeah,
I guess
so. They'll still buy your home, and then do nothing to it, and then try and sell it themselves. Maybe
but I don't feel like it's a. Like Open Door is not a cash offer, because there's still contingencies that they have to make, I'm guessing. But I guess a buyer, if a buyer makes a cash offer, Joe Schmo walks and makes a cash offer, what all could derail that? Do they appraise it if they're doing a cash offer?
Cash offer, they don't. But sometimes you'll get cash offers from investors that are doing a hard money loan. They'll still do like a desk appraisal.
But would it be contingent? Like, could that?
Sometimes.
Well, I guess
sometimes they are.
If the hard money says no, okay.
A lot of people that still get hard monies have enough money in their portfolio to where they can liquidate something to make it happen, even if it doesn't. But if they didn't have that,
so if you get a cash offer, you're typically getting good earnest money, and you're pretty confident in that offer, right?
Typically,
because there's not a lot of contingencies on a cash offer.
Typically not. No, a good cash offer usually comes with like a 14-day close period too. So it's
14-day close.
You're getting your money quick.
So, but like when people are getting financed and they have that due diligence of 7 days, they can walk away for any reason.
Yeah.
Do cash offers have the same thing?
Sometimes they do, but if you're talking like what you said, significantly cutting the price, what I suggest to my folks is like, no. If they want something, they can do a 3-day, but they don't need to do more than that, because I mean, at that price, they're getting what they're getting is what I'm telling my folks. We're trying to make something for them, and at that price, if they want to negotiate down $70,000 and then on top of that ask for 10 days inspection so they can knock it down another $15,000, no thank you. That's what I call.
Yeah, that's true. Because then they're tying your stuff up and they're doing that on purpose. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned correction, like we had a correction in the last 12 months. I mean, I guess that's a relative term as well. So, I mean, some areas have seen prices pull back, but the average has not gone down. So it's more just returned to more of a balanced market.
Yeah, I think that's the correction that I've seen. Yeah, it's some agents, in 2021, agents didn't have to have any skills. They could just have a license and just wing it and they would
Yeah.
still make a lot of money because everyone was buying houses back
Right.
then. Now, the real estate agent, the successful ones are back to skills. You know, we are now skilled again, and that's a correction that's been made. The correction's been made to where people aren't bidding or offering $50,000 over ask and gonna pay the difference
Right.
with cash.
The
You know.
appraisal gaps.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say the skill, we're probably still weeding out some agents though,
Oh,
because not
absolutely.
every agent's going to jump out,
Mm-hmm.
but you might have an agent that's working for you right now that is not skilled at negotiating,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're your buyer's agent, whether they're the listing agent, maybe they don't have it priced right.
Mm-hmm.
So many things. I think in this market, it is so important to have a good real estate agent because of the fact that buyers are negotiating and buyers are willing to walk away.
Yep, exactly.
Where before, because I guess I've seen the stat a few times that in Georgia has a very high number of canceled contracts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's still or if that's a couple month old stat, but evidently a lot of people, for some reason, Georgia was mentioned, had a lot of canceled contracts where people were like, nah, never mind, I'll go find something else.
I saw that stat, and yeah, that did definitely have to do with agents and setting expectations, the skill level of agents, setting the expectations for their buyer, what they're getting into, looking at the house. But you know, Georgia, I think, was the number one state for cancellations when I saw that article
so
too.
It was.
But yeah, things to me, at least on my end, has gotten a little bit better. But that's even when I'm listing homes, because that was a correction that I made. I was more of a buyer's agent. That's where I had a lot of experience. I had listed properties before, but I was on a real estate team for a long time. I was only a buyer's agent there. Now, a lot of my business has shifted to more listings because that's what we have. Yeah, I help buyers when buyers come along. We get them done quick. I had a buyer the other day, and at closing, he told me, he said, you were the third or fourth agent that I'd worked with, but the only reason I worked with you is because you were the only one that ever called me back and would be able to go on showings when I was available for showings.
Yeah.
You sent me homes. No one else, everyone else was just let me know, and then I'd go to voicemail.
That just baffles me because
Mhm.
you've heard that for years. That's not a new phenomenon.
No.
You've heard it for years,
Mhm.
and well, I don't even know how to answer that. I don't know how to justify that.
I just thought it was like, okay, we went to go see homes basically one weekend. I had talked to him on the phone for about 3 months, but we went one weekend to actually go look at homes, 3 homes, and we went under contract that first weekend. And it was like, it wasn't that hard.
So I did find sales activity is up 5% year over year. So although prices aren't going up, maybe there are more listings, activity is higher. So that is great.
Yeah.
And, again, I think most people agree and say that if rates do drop below 6%, there's a lot of pent up demand. Hopefully we stay in a balanced market, but it could really take off.
Yeah. That's what I hope for. I mean, obviously anyone in this business hopes for things to take off. I just hope that when it happens this time, with everything changing around, with potentially, with a new Fed chairman coming in, it's done responsibly. Last time during COVID, we went down, we stayed down too long, and then we skyrocketed up, and we stayed high too long.
Yeah.
We need to be more proactive in moving, adjusting on the fly. And we
just get rid of the Fed altogether and let the market do what the market does.
Yeah.
That's a lot more painful, but
yeah,
it's real.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. That would be definitely an option to do. There would be that learning period.
And I was just saying, I said that from ignorance. I'm sure there are bad reasons for that. I don't know if that would work, but I like the idea.
I mean, banks already, there's like a 2% gap, a little bit more than a 2% gap between what the Fed rate is and what a mortgage rate is. So, I mean, yeah, I think y'all, mortgage brokers or banks have already taken it into their own hands a little bit. So, there's definitely movement in there.
All right. So what has not changed in the last 12 months so what I wrote down, and it could be anything. We're going anywhere now. So what has not changed is there has not been a collapse like thought.
Correct.
And jobs are still good.
Mm-hmm.
They're teetering, and there's caution, and there's all this AI, and we'll dive into that as well. there are speculation that jobs could be heading off of a cliff, but so far they've been strong and
I
everything's been good in that department.
I
What else has stayed
yeah.
the same?
I think jobs has gone a little, like slightly a little bit better even. You know, the market that we're in has stayed fairly similar. It's just been a marathon of sticking with it, I think.
Yeah.
The market, like you said, everything's been fairly stagnant. Prices have been stagnant. Interest rates have been kind of stagnant. You know, everything's been stagnant. And at this point, it's just been in this business, sticking with it and staying in that marathon and not falling and collapsing. The buyers still want what buyers want. Sellers are learning that they can't get everything that they want. They can't sell a house and at zero closing costs over in 20.
And not
Yeah,
fix the carpet and the holes in the wall
exactly.
and all that stuff.
And you're getting the value of your home, the actual value of your home now.
Right.
So that's good.
That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a sign of a healthy market. If you're giving up everything, you're not in a healthy market. If you're taking everything, you're not in a healthy market.
Yes, I agree. All right. So what is different 12 months? So these are a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
The world is a lot more unstable now than I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's an age thing though, because there's always been wars here and there. And I just
Yeah.
never cared or paid attention. And now that I'm old, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
So we'll ignore that part of it. We got a World Cup coming. That's big
Yeah.
in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And then AI, which we could talk a whole lot about, all of that, how it relates to jobs, real estate, life, robots, all of that. So what else do you think has changed in the last 12 months?
What has changed in the last 12 months? That's a tough question because I kind of live in my little bubble.
Well, tell me about your bubble. Tell me about the kids. Let's go there. How have
yeah.
they changed in the last 12 months?
Well, my daughter, she is growing up. She's going into second grade this coming year. We moved. We were on one side of Noonan, and now we've moved a little bit more towards Sharpsburg.
Okay.
So you know the things have changed in a sense that last year a lot of people were scared to do anything. This year people are a little bit less hesitant. There's a lot of folks waiting to see what happens with this Fed thing. I've noticed there's a lot of wait and see, but more people are coming out, and that's a good thing because the scary thing is what if rates do drop drastically? What if because of this war in Iran and gas prices go crazy? What if Trump decides to, or the governor, someone sends us a $500 stimulus check? We're in the exact same situation we were in 2000 at that point, and that's scary to me.
What if rates go up?
If rates go up,
because they could with inflation. I mean, we talk about wanting the Fed to do this and that, but if inflation's creeping in, they can't lower rates.
If rates go up, how significantly are we talking here? Are we talking 0.5%? Are we talking 2%?
So, in my opinion, the reason for rates, because other countries have raised their rates. If the reason for rates are because of oil, then why would you lower borrowing costs? Or why would you raise borrowing costs to stipend it? Like, that doesn't make sense.
No.
Like, inflation is not being caused because people are borrowing too much money and expanding their companies or getting equity lines in cars.
Right.
So to me, you're punishing this person because this person's doing something bad.
Yeah.
So I don't think that rates should go up, but it's more of a signal, I think. It wouldn't be much. It'd be 0.25%. But that still could put us back at 7%.
Yeah.
I don't think it's likely at all. But
if it did, I think we're on that cusp right now. We're teetering back and forth. If rates went up drastically, if rates went back up to 7%, we'd start to go back to the mark that we had last year, and I think that's where we'd start to see. I think home prices would come down more, and then sellers would be in their homes longer. I still don't see a crash happening. The way that the Fed works is they're just trying to balance things out. In my opinion, they just constantly are trying to keep, when it starts to teeter one way, it'll start to teeter the other way. It'll just keep doing this back and forth. I don't see us having the crash that we had in the early 2000s.
No.
Absolutely not.
No, I agree. Okay, so you got Claude, ChatGPT. These were all around a year ago. I may have been doing a couple things. I don't even remember really if I probably wasn't. I knew it was where I might have done my son's homework for him on it once,
Yeah.
but not like now where everything, like, I remember people talking about it taking over and Google going away.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I go to Google all the time.
Yeah.
And now I never go to Google. Like, I'm shocked because I feel loyal to Google. I feel bad.
Uh-huh.
But Google don't answer my damn questions.
No. Now people say chat GPT it.
Yeah.
But now even when you type something in Google, it gives you like a chat GPT
It gives you an
answer.
AI, yeah, an
But
AI option.
I mean, we've had AI around for a lot longer than this conversation has happened. It's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like when the car was made to to going to space was a lot quicker than us going from creating the wheel to creating a car. It's
Yeah.
exponentially growing. But the real estate business, there's a lot that is still very human skill based compared to AI. When it comes to AI, yes, some jobs are going to get lost, unfortunately, but it happens with everything. And humans find new ways to adapt to that. And when the steam engine came along, new jobs were created. Then yes, jobs were lost, but it's the same thing here. I'm sure it's going to create new jobs. All these data centers that everywhere they're talking about. You're not just talking about construction. You're talking about maintaining.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll all be part of the matrix, but until then.
Yeah. So I just listened to a podcast, it's probably been 2 weeks ago, that talked about how all this was not fake, grossly exaggerated.
Mhm.
Like with the .com era,
Mhm.
that all the AI companies have created this momentum or whatever it is, that they've created this discussion of, oh my God, AI is going to take over, it's going to do everything, when it's really not. It's not. It's really not going to replace all these jobs. And I don't know the answer, but it gave some pretty good arguments of how this is purely driven by the companies that tend to profit from it.
Yeah.
Like, they're creating this whole narrative and we're all buying into it and scared. And what are we doing? I'm sitting
Yeah.
here buying subscriptions to every AI and trying to learn as much as I can because I'm scared it's going to replace my job. When all I'm doing is exactly what they want me to do.
Yeah. I mean, you look at AI, at least where we're at today with AI, we're not at that place. I mean, when I said we've already had AI for a while, look at Zillow. Zillow has had their Zestimate for how long? That's AI. But it's still to the point to where they're not just a few $1,000s off. A lot of times when I'm running my numbers, they're tens of thousands of dollars off.
Definitely.
And that's AI giving you those numbers. I mean, look at like I hear on the radio where they talk about lawyers that are being disbarred because they wouldn't put their thing in AI, and then it gave them fake cases. It's not to the point to where it can run everything. And even in my bubble of just real estate, I can see where AI is not going to take over because it's not at that spot yet.
Yeah.
Like, there was a house last night. I had my broker call me for a second opinion because it was a piece of land, and Zillow was saying it was worth 900 and something $1,000, and he was like, just run your numbers and tell me where you're at. And I called him. I said, okay, I'd say we're around $600,000. He goes, okay, I had about 625. Thank you. but it just shows that's hundreds of thousands of dollars off. But it's all just because of the input that's put in there. Like, someone listed it poorly at $925,000 for a year. It didn't sell, but Zillow saw that and said, okay, it's worth this much. No, because you're saying it's 900. They had it at 925 and they couldn't sell it. So no, it's not worth that much.
So AI can get it right a lot and be a great resource for structuring ideas and all that. But the problem is the fact that you don't know 100% that it's accurate means you still have to do the manual labor. So that's why AI may never, or maybe a long way off from being truly 100% reliable as fact.
I think as humans, we can work together with AI, but we can't rely solely on AI. We have to have our human intuition
Right.
because that's something that AI doesn't have. At least at the moment, it doesn't have human intuition, and that's what's needed. If we need to have checks and balances, of what AI does. We need to make sure that what it's saying is true and what it's giving is true, but we don't need to just push it away. I think we need to embrace it, but don't rely solely on
Right.
it.
Yeah, because AI is not going to know that, even in Peachtree City, you've got some pockets where that neighborhood is not as nice.
Exactly.
So, but it doesn't know, what might be going on or what they might be building down the road or whatever. So,
Exactly.
all right. So robots are coming.
Uh-huh.
I wrote $24,000. Like they're saying in the next 2 years, everyone will be able to buy a robot that can take your trash out and everything for $24,000. That sounds like a bargain.
Yeah.
Like, typically, that stuff comes to the ultra rich first,
Mhm.
which they probably already have them. But $24K to take my trash out and do all my laundry.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
in. I'll sell my car to not have to do laundry.
Yeah.
Do you think that's real?
I mean, look at it. We've already got robots that cut our grass. You've got the Roomba inside, and now you got the Roomba outside.
That outside lawnmower don't work. Your lawn better be perfect.
Yeah. That's why I don't have.
You got robots running marathons. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw that, but like what you said too, who's to say the robot's going to throw the trash in the trash can? It might start making a pile next to the house or something.
Might throw your cat away.
Exactly. I mean, then you go to a Korean fried chicken place in Fayetteville, and the robot comes out with your order and your drinks on it and just scoots out. You take your food off and it scoots away.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of it that I do love, but
Mhm.
I think what might save us is that I'm still irritated as hell by like AI people calling, answering the phone. Like, no, I don't. You're making me more irritated. I'd rather have it automated and sound like a computer than you faking like you're a human and still not be able to answer my questions.
Yep. Yeah.
And there's some YouTube videos of people trying to talk to drive-throughs, going, "I want a milkshake. So you want fries?" And it almost seems like a spoof, but
Yep.
I went through one and it worked pretty well the other day. But in general, I don't know. That sounds.
I'm glad that sometimes I feel like I am starting to get older because there are times that I don't realize at first that I'm talking to AI, and then about 10 seconds, 15 seconds in, I'm like, oh, wait, this isn't a person I'm talking to, is it?
I get myself in trouble because the other day I was like, wow, you sound hot. Because if they're too perfectly, because we've never had perfectly spoken people making sales calls or answering.
Yep.
So if they're doing it, I was like, man, you sound beautiful. Wow. And she goes, thank you. I was like, you're a robot, aren't you? And she's like, no. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
That's hilarious. I have a friend, and he was telling me about how they work at a car dealership, and they used AI for a little bit, and they started to have guys coming in looking for Jamie, who was the AI assistant, and they were like, "Well, Jamie's not a real person; they are AI." And like,
what a perfect transition, Ben. That's my next question. AI relationships. This has nothing to do with real estate. We're just talking now.
Okay.
Because evidently that's the new thing is people are because you can chat with the AI. You don't have to just ask questions. You actually can just leave it live and have a full-on conversation. And evidently this is developing into not only are people having relationships with their Siri, if you will, but with their AI, but I'm sure there are actual sites where you could probably have true-on relationships. So here's the question. Would you let your spouse have an AI friend? Friend. We're calling it a friend, but we know where that goes.
Yeah. I trust my spouse enough to where, that'd be fine. As long as it's, there's certain parameters set up for the AI. If it's just trying to go straight on hitting on my wife constantly, then, my wife would probably know to back off.
But let's remove that because clearly it's not a real person.
Yeah,
so they're not physically going to be able to act on it.
Yeah.
But your spouse or your child actually has a relationship where they're logging on. I guess it'd be like having a fake friend, or like when you were a kid having what were those things called?
The imaginary friends. Oh, the imaginary friends. Okay.
Which I always wish I had one of those. None of my kids ever had them, but
I don't think that's something that AI needs to get into. Yeah, what it's saying, in my opinion, for that is that this person needs someone to talk to,
Yes.
whether it's a friend, a therapist, somebody.
Which a lot of people,
Yeah,
there's a lot of old people that could use somebody to
yeah.
talk to.
But that shows too where we're at in as a society, as AI is stepping in and taking over for social interactions.
Right.
Instead of me and you sitting here having a conversation, they don't have someone to have a conversation with because everyone's down looking at their phones.
So it's getting worse because at first we said that this is the most connected generation ever and the loneliest because they're connected through social media, but they actually don't have any real interactions.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we're going to go to the next up where they're not even connecting with real people
Yeah.
online. They're
And it's in their head they're connecting, but really, how can you connect with something that doesn't have feelings? That is not connected. AI is not connecting with you. You may feel that you're connecting with it, but it has no emotions. It has no feelings. You're not truly connecting with it.
so all you're really doing is connecting with yourself because
Exactly.
it's agreeable. Typically.
You're having
You're just having a mental conversation with yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So my only positive for this is there are a lot of people that have right now, if you take it away, they have no one to talk to.
Yeah.
And so proceed with caution, if you will, because you don't want that to replace anything, and you really don't want to be that type of person. But for the person that is maybe an invalid or suffered from trauma or whatever that looks like, or the old person that has nobody, it gives them somebody to talk to.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It's
Ma, call your robot. Leave me alone.
Yeah, but that's what dogs are for. That's what cats are for. But then you can get the robot that can clean up the litter box or open up the door and take them outside.
So you need a dog and a robot.
Yes, a dog and a robot.
You can talk to your robot about the
exactly.
dog.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Oh God, if they have robot dogs.
They have the kid toy robot dogs, but you can't yell at a robot for sometimes I have to get onto my dog because since we've moved, he's still learning where the bathroom is, and he's learning that the house is not the bathroom.
Yes.
So I've been having to get onto my dog lately. So that's one thing that is great about AI. They don't take dookies in your living room.
Yeah. So what? And this is on the spot. Can you think of anything do you have any fears about AI for the next 12 months? So from 1 year from now, what could go wrong with all of this? Not just AI, because that's obviously there's so many good uses for AI, but we're talking about the progression into robots and computers taking, they're talking about using Claude I'm listening to these things and they're like, there's going to be 75 different Facebooks now. People can create these things. I'm like, I still can't.
Yeah.
With Claude. I don't know how to create that crap. I couldn't even create a mortgage calculator. I tried to use it.
To me, the biggest. I mean, I'm 39. I'm almost 40. I grew up in the generation of watching movies like Terminator, Matrix, all that stuff. So that's always in the back of my mind of one day machines are going to take over. But in reality, right now, my biggest fear is no matter what laws are put into place, we're never going to have any sort of privacy ever again.
Yeah.
Because AI can set it up to where, you have your phone where it has facial recognition on it. Now it knows what you look like. I've never looked up once anything about my parents, my entire family are from the United States. But, the color of skin that I am, how come it tells me, how come I'm getting ads for my family coming over to the United States? They should have some sort of insurance plan when they get here. Any algorithms on Facebook, algorithms on everything. They know what you like. They know what you want. They want to figure out what you want to get more.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have no privacy.
Do you think they'll push us over the cliff and we'll shut it all down ourselves?
No. I don't think we will.
I think there will be a movement towards that.
You know what I did see the other day that I actually would like? I would like to see this movement, and it is having hours. Like how you can only go to the store and they close at a certain time.
Yeah.
I would love to see where you can't get on Facebook after 10 o'clock or something like that, and it
Or
just shuts
just,
off.
I know Sunday's considered a religious holiday, so you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But if there was a day of the week,
Yeah, something.
Saturday's all
Mhm.
whatever is shut off.
Because I'm sorry, I'm just big into like because I try and cut myself off of Facebook as much as possible. The only time I ever get on is to make a post, but very rarely, and I try not scroll that because that's what gets me. But like they say, it's literally you get the same feeling that you get from a drug.
Yeah.
When you start like that's why TikTok is so popular, because it's 8-second hits
Yeah.
that you're getting, just boom, boom, boom.
And what's weird about like TikTok, like that is my least used one. I've tried to figure that out. I think it might be because there's so many not fake videos, but so many ads
Oh, yeah.
that look like real videos. I'm like, I don't have the energy to decipher. Like I literally get on social media, well, for two reasons. One, see, my problem is I feel like I have to interact if I want people to interact with me. So if I want people to look at my post, I have to interact with
Yeah.
theirs. So I get on there to like and comment on other people's stuff all the time,
Yeah.
not to actually just doom scroll. But
Yeah.
then for Instagram Reels or whatever, that's when I find myself just scrolling mindlessly.
I will say this about social media and AI, because it's already starting to happen. You've got bad actors out there already to where they're manipulating videos, photos, whatever, to push a narrative a lot of times that's not even real, and it's causing a ruckus. It's causing people's emotions to go up, and it's something that hasn't even happened, and it's making people believe things that aren't even true.
Yeah, and people are still too lazy to verify things.
Exactly,
themselves.
because if
it supports their narrative, they're like, well, why would I want to go find out that?
It's like there was an old skit or a meme or something, and I think it was like a skit, and it was like, I have to believe it because it's true because I read it on the internet. Well, where did you read that? On the internet. And it's the same with this. Like people believe stuff because they see it, and like you said, they don't go and verify. But it's hard to not believe it when you see not just one thing, but when you click on it, then your algorithm says, oh, they really are into this.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep pushing this in front of them again and again and again. And then they believe it because they've seen now that their entire feed is that one thing.
And I'm trying to reverse that for myself because I've found that I've been diverted because of a few things that I'm passionate about. And I found myself in an echo chamber. And I don't like the other echo chamber, but I need to know it so that I know that mine is accurate.
Yeah.
So, well, one last question.
Okay.
Let's tie it back to the whole 1 year anniversary.
Okay.
Let's think 1 year from now.
Okay.
Let's go back to real estate. What is a mistake that buyers or sellers, if they look back 1 year from now, what is a mistake that they could be making over the next 12 months?
A mistake that buyers could be making right now is waiting for things to happen, because right now we're in a good market to where you can get things.
Right.
You can get your closing costs paid for. You could get, like I'm telling folks, a lot of times we have about a $20,000 wiggle room, maybe 15 in closing costs, 5 off the price or something. You can get things. But if, let's just say the market changes drastically and rates come down, then you have more people in the market and you're not going to get those same things. Or vice versa, you wait because you think rates are coming down, and you mentioned earlier, what if rates go up? Now you've both ways, you've been priced out of the market. As a seller, the mistake that you can make is either A, not being patient, in not realizing the market we're in, or hiring a bad agent that is giving you hopes, selling you hopes and dreams, and then just letting a house sit.
Yeah.
Because the longer a house sits, the more negotiation power a buyer has.
Yeah.
I mean, on day one, if this is the first day you have your house listed, you could get probably full price and 0 in closing costs. 90 days down the road, you're giving up closing costs. A year down the road, you reduce the price and you're giving up closing costs. I mean, look at that person you're talking about. They had on the market and they, $70,000 off? Exactly.
So I know Tyler Willis, a real estate photographer, posted yesterday just talking about, please, y'all don't know how important it is for you to stage your home.
Mm-hmm.
To make sure it's clean, make sure it's, I've seen agents use the word beauty pageant ready.
Mm-hmm.
1 year ago, you just smashed my kitchen, told
Mm-hmm.
me how trashy it looked.
Yeah.
And how,
Yeah. It still matters. Pictures still matter.
you're not supposed to agree that my kitchen is trash.
It wasn't that bad. My
Oh my
kitchen's worse
God.
sometimes.
All right, well, we've moved to the living room. We've moved to the
Uh-huh.
living room. You need this beauty pageant ready.
Mhm.
What needs to go in here to stage this room for to put the house on the market? And y'all can't see it because
yeah.
he's got ample
Yeah.
things to choose from.
I would take out all the personalized stuff, all the family photos, all that stuff needs to go. And it would just be like the best way to describe it is when you walk into a go to Haverty's, Rooms to Go, wherever. They don't have all this stuff. It's a couch, table, some flowers, call it
So
a
no
day.
drum set.
No drum set. I can take that with me.
Okay.
Though. That's okay.
Okay.
It'll be safe at my house.
My green screen, is it got to come down too off the wall?
The green screen would come down because this is all personalized stuff. This is what's supposed to be like a formal living room.
What about my Snoop Dogg?
Oh no, you definitely have to keep that.
Okay, so
you
that's
definitely keep that.
right next to Jesus. I
Yes.
apologize. He is behind Jesus, though. He's behind
Yes.
Jesus. We don't know where he
Uh-huh.
is with his
Yeah.
walk. So
No, yeah, it's when people come in and you don't want them to think, oh, I have to clean, like this is dirty. No, you want them to come into a showroom. Basically,
Yeah.
that's the best way to describe it. They need to see a showroom because that's where dreams happen. If it didn't, then when you went to Rooms to Go or to Haverty's, then their places would be cluttered too.
right.
But they're not because they have a product to sell, and you have a product to sell too. As much as it's your home, because everyone still has that mindset, and it's rightful. You've lived there for how long? Forever, you know. But you have to take away the personalness of it. It's not about to not be your home anymore, and you're selling to someone that they don't want it to be your home. They want it to be their home. So you just have to keep that mindset in mind, as hard as it is, and detach yourself as much as possible, and just you're working. Your real estate agent is working, but you also have to work to keep it clean, you know, and keep it presentable.
Man, I love it. You're really good.
I
You're really
appreciate
good at this. You're really great at your videos. You have a YouTube channel. Let's send them
do.
back to there.
Yep. Go to Georgia Home Hub. I've taken a little bit of a hiatus, but I do have several videos that are in the pipeline that are about to be made. So come check out my channel, Georgia Home Hub.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for everything you've done for me to get me started.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming back. Love having you on.
Thank you.
You're awesome, Ben.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
That was the best one ever.
All right. I appreciate it.